What's going on YouTube? Jared Juggernaut 1 here. Welcome to the weekly meta discussion, episode 2. Since I can't really do this the same day every week, I'm just making this a weekly thing. Excuse me. So yeah, for this episode, let's talk about two things. First, we're going to talk about the Gen Con meta, and after that, we're going to talk about the new XYZ rulings, because, quite frankly, I need to get some things off my chest. Alright, first off, let's talk about Gen Con, the good and the bad. Okay, the good. The good stuff I'm definitely happy about. Number one, the diversity. There was more diversity in this YCS compared to Nationals. Even though Tour Guide was a very popular card, there's still a bunch of different decks that used it. But yeah, it bothers me that this was a very splashable card, just like with Tengu. What bothers me even more is the fact that this card is becoming even more splashable because it's finding use in other decks. I'm a little concerned actually by this card. It's becoming just, to me, oh god, like so broken, from what people are telling me, that there's so many decks that can actually use it. That alarms me a lot, quite frankly. But go figure, it's just ridiculous in itself. But like that being one of the bad things. The other good thing, though, that I was happy about was a lot of the players that topped. Jesse Samek, who I know from my locals, he topped, which it's definitely been a while since I think I've seen him top. What else? Who else? CJ Kraus topped Gen Con once again, just like he did last year, only he was probably running the most interesting deck out of everybody, because he was running a Tech Genus with the Tour Guide engine. And that was very interesting because I think only because of the fact that I understood the idea, like you could exceed someone and get some massive advantage, but the fact, what I found interesting was the fact that he was like, with saying he wasn't running like Lone Fire or any like incredibly good search targets. The bigger focus seemed to be like he would just gain more advantage off the searching though. I don't know, definitely liked it though. I understand why he ran it. But I honestly think if he hadn't chose to run a Veiler, he wouldn't have done as well as he did. Because, Veiler's just a great search target for Sangan. It just gives you a lot. It gives you an out to True Nade, depending on the deck they're playing. Very helpful. Third, though, I think which this kind of goes into what I was just saying with the people who topped, Robert Boyajian, who won the event. I'm definitely happy with that because I was really hoping this guy would win an event, because he hasn't gotten particularly close to winning in the past, but he has topped 3 events in the past year, and I really thought this guy was not so much the most deserving of a win, but definitely worthy of a win. He was definitely good enough. I was just surprised in a way he hadn't won any YCS yet, but yeah, things changed. He ended up winning this, though unfortunately was a smaller event than the other YCSs he had topped, so that's the only downside. But, still, a win is a win. I know he's happy about that, so yeah. But I don't know, I'm curious to see where this guy goes in the future. We will have to wait and find out. But, yeah, he's topped 3 YCSs this year. He topped YCS Atlanta with Plants and Grow, and he topped YCS Orlando with Worms. The third YCS, I don't remember off the top of my head what he topped with. I believe it was something different, though, compared to the other 2 decks. But I will get back to you on that. But yeah, good player. It's just, he, in a sense, he was just kind of overdue for a victory, or at least doing better in YCS than top 16, because I think this was the first time he finished better than top 16, so great for him. I don't really want to talk about the prize card because I don't really know how I feel about Blood Mephist as a prize card, quite frankly, so we will talk about that on another time. But in terms of the new XYZ rulings, now, a big reason Tour Guide Tengu Synchro was so popular was because of the new ruling that when Sangan is removed as XYZ material for when it's used as XYZ material, it doesn't get the effect. But when it's removed as the XYZ material and sent to the graveyard, you get the search. Where do I begin? Okay, first off, any balance that Tour Guide of the Underworld had before just went down the toilet. Any deck can essentially splash this card now because it can just get Sangan, get an Xyz monster, and you get a search. It's really dumb. Like, it's so good to the point where you can almost splash in everything. Hell, my friend Mike Cohanum, splashing in Glads. One of my other friends, he was able to splash in Gravekeepers. It's unbelievable how broken this card is, and it leads me to the conclusion that one of two things needs to happen. One, Tour Guide needs to go to 1, or 2, Sangan needs to get banned. I don't see Tour Guide getting hit on this list just because we'll be lucky if Tengu gets hit and Tour Guide's not as bad. But at the same time, we have to face facts that, like, it's just so broken and, like, something needs to be done. So I feel like ban Sangan, I won't care, even if it's a card I love using. It's no longer, like, a viable option, people. Please. Oh, like, just, oh my god, it's ridiculous. It's self-explanatory, though, in a way, so whatever. But again, my hope is that this situation works out with the next ban list, which I will talk about next week. The other problem I'm having with these rulings is the fact that you can reuse you can reuse Plague Spreader Zombie. You can stop it from being removed from play by using it as Xyz material instead of using it for synchro summoning purposes. That's really broken too. I mean, not as broken as like with what Tengu and Sangan, because Plague, you're only using it for a rank 2. You're not really gaining that much more advantage with it unless they come up with a more broken, with an even better rank 2 Xyz. But either way, right now it's like it's very good. But one, you have to top a card for it, and two, all you're doing is just getting another rank 2. So it's more advantage, but it's still like, it's not like so ridiculous in a sense. It's just ridiculous that I mean, plus they have Pain Painter anyway, so it's like, who cares in a sense. But yeah, I'm not liking these rulings. I hope they change. It makes no sense that our rulings are different from the OCG. I blame Kevin Tewart because he's made all these dumb mistakes before. He's the one he works for Konami, and he's even claimed that he even at one point said Tengu's balanced and there's no need to worry about it. Like, idiot. Like, oh, I'm having like a Napoleon Dynamite moment right now. The absurdities of the card are just, not the card, the rulings. Hopefully they'll change, but I don't know. So my question for this segment, I'm gonna try and have one every week, is what do you guys think of the new Xyz rulings? Do you think that how do you think Konami should deal with this situation? Should they actually change the rulings or what? And how exactly you feel about the situation with it? Do you think like it'll work itself out, or do you think we're just gonna have to deal with these rulings forever in a sense? So yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Next week I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on the ban list. I'm going to basically break it down into 2 segments. I'm going to break it down into cards I think should be restricted even more, like restricted or banned, and then I want to talk about the cards that I think this won't be as important, but just cards that I think should be either unrestricted or like they should be taken off the ban list, or they're cards that are like limited and semi-limited, and they should be, the amount of copies we can play should be increased. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.